Minnesota Vikings are 4-1, but it's time to talk about some losers from this game. Welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Lupagus here with Onebar, and we don't like to do it when the Vikings are 4-1. You just beat a division opponent. You're 3-0 against the NFC North, but you got to talk about losers from this game, and we're going to do it here, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, we have to be stick true to our colors here. So, you know what? It's beautiful. Vikings top of the North, 4-1. Boom, baby. But there were some players or coaches that could have played a little bit better today. So we're going to be doing our top 5 losers. Don't be a loser. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that sub button. We're talking Vikings every damn day. So hit that sub button. Let's get to 8,000 subs. Let's go, baby. Hit it.
Yeah, it'll feel very good. And also it'll feel very good if you drink some lift bridges right there.
Hit up those lift bridges, grab them from your local liquor store, or hit up their beautiful brewery, which is fantastic. Their beer is delicious.
All right, let's start with a loser. Let's go with the guy. I'm going to start with special teams because there's actually quite a few from the special teams unit. Let's start with a guy who's been very good this year, and I love him, and I'm glad he's on our team. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. I'm glad we went with the rookie, but today he was not great. It was our punter, Ryan Wright.
Yeah, Ryan Wright, one punt. He was out there once, had a 15-yard punt. It was funny because I believe it might have been our live show on Wednesday where we were talking about this dude hasn't even had a shank yet. I mean, every punter has a shank. We saw it with Jordan Berry. Yeah. We saw it with every punter does it where it just flies off the side of their foot. Yeah. Today he had his shank, his first pro shank, and you know what? It happens. Unfortunately, it ended up being a score for the Bears. They came down and ended up scoring pretty easily. And like Lupagus is going on a tangent here that it switched the tide, torn the tide. What's the phrase?
Yeah, it turned the tide.
Turn the tide.
What was worse was that there's a penalty on top of it. So not only do you shank the punt, but you have a 10-yard holding penalty. So basically, the Bears get the ball where the Vikings punted from. So yeah, you might as well just have gone for it. But yeah, Ryan Wright's been great so far this year. His holding's been great. His punting's been great. He's been pinning teams inside the 20. Today he finally has that shank, and it came at a horrible time. The Bears were getting dominated by the Vikings, 21-3. Everything going the Vikings' way. This was the big break. And what happens after the shank and the penalty? A bomb to Darnell Mooney, who makes one of the best catches we've ever seen. And that's what bad teams need to stay in games. And unfortunately, it happened today with the Vikings. And Ryan Wright was the catalyst that kept the Bears in this game, that gave them this chance to come back from 21-3. And sometimes that's all a team needs, is that one little opportunity, that one little slit to make a comeback. And he gave it to him today.
Well, guess what? That comeback wasn't good enough because we still won. So Ryan Wright, bad punt, shitty punt. But guess what? We still got the W, and Ryan Wright's going to bounce back next week and pound some 65-yard punts. Who do we got next? Who else?
Let's go to defense. Let's go with a guy who I've not been super high on this year. You've been a little higher on him than me. Let's go to our nickelback, Chandon Sullivan.
Chandon Sullivan, not a great game. I mean, he hasn't had great games throughout the season. I'd say he's been serviceable. Lupagus is very down on this guy. The way I look at it is, I mean, look what we paid him. Expectations aren't overly high for this guy. It's not like we expect him to be this shutdown corner. And today he showed what Chandon Sullivan kind of is. I mean, he's fine, but he's going to give up some plays. And today he gave up some plays. So I'm not down on him. He doesn't keep me up at night. I just realize that he's not a great corner. He's good. He's good. He's average. He's fine.
A couple things here. Number one, every time there was a big Bears play in the passing game, whether it was a penalty or a near catch or a almost completion, it was Chandon Sullivan on the coverage, and he wasn't really close, like in the vicinity. He wasn't even near where he should have been. And number two, you always say, he's better than Mackenzie Alexander, and you're right. He is. He's better than Mackenzie Alexander. If Mac Alexander was in here, everything that would be, close, I think, would be a reception, and, so I think it would be worse. So he's not good. He's better than what we've had. And he's a turd because he's not good, but he is better than what we've had. So,
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, what are your expectations for Shannon Sullivan? Because if they're like the
I
fact that
just
nobody's
want
catching it, no, hold on. If your expectations are that nobody's going to catch a ball on him, I think you need to readjust those things.
no. I want him to be at least there contesting it. And I feel like with the Darnell Mooney couple catches there, he wasn't there. He closed in late. Like I think he was wide open. That's my problem with Shannon Sullivan. I don't think he's there. He's in position. He's not putting himself where he needs to be to maybe swat the ball away or at least do something. So that's my problem with him. I don't expect him to be perfect. No way, but at least make it contested. That's all I'm
Well,
asking.
from everything when we signed him from the Packers, it seems like he's a little bit inconsistent. Looks like he'll have a big play now and then, but from what we've gotten from him, it sounds like that's what he's been. But today, he definitely deserves to be on the top 5 because he was a liability out there, and nobody should be a liability against the Bears offense. It's just it shouldn't happen.
Like against the Justin Fields throwing the ball. And I kind of been like I feel like I've been a Justin Fields apologist when we've been talking, but he's just his receivers are bad, but he's just not very good. He's just not very good. He's not a good football player. Let's go back to special teams here. Let's go to our kicker, Greg Joseph, who was, I believe he was 0 for 2 on field goals today.
0 for 2 at a blocked kick from 51, and he was wide right, I believe, from 53. So some very long kicks. Again, this is a W. We won, so it's tough to pick out losers. So it might be a little bit unfair here. Lupagus, he's a little bit downer on Greg Joseph than I am, so I'll give you the mic.
Well, it's just frustrating because look at what he did in camp, in preseason. The guy was money. He was hitting from like plus 60 with extra yards to spare, and now you're asking him to make 53 yarders, 54 yarders, and he's just not doing it. So you have one job is to make your field goals, and could they be a little closer? Sure, but still. When you show the leg in the preseason, you expect when you ask him to do it and when it matters, you want him to hit these, and he's not. So it's frustrating, and it sucks because I think those 2 kicks, the block was like there was no chance. So I can't really put that on Greg Joseph. There's no way you can because he had no shot to make that kick. The guy was there almost as soon as the ball was. But if he makes those kicks, this is a different game. There's not this. You're not sweating it out at the end. It's 6 points you're leaving off the board, and it's frustrating.
It is frustrating. It would have been beautiful. We don't like to take in last week to consider the turd for this week. He missed a couple of 56-yarders last week. He's got to make one of these things. Come on. But they are 50-plus. They're very tough kicks. A lot of kickers in the league won't make these things. The 53 or 51-yarder that he missed, just barely missed a thing. It's not like it was some weird-ass shank that just went flying way over. So confidence is still very high in Greg Joseph. I think he is our kicker. He is our kicker for the future. But damn it, we got to start making some of these long boys. Got to do it.
Yeah, at least go 50. At least go 50%. Bat 250, whatever it is. At least make one of them.
50% is not batting 250, by the way.
Yeah, it's not. You're right.
Lupagus is shit-faced, but it doesn't matter because we're still talking losers, and he's not on this list. Know who is on this list? Ed Donatil. Ed Donatil. Yeah. We hate to say just give it to a coach because it's lame, it's easy, it's kind of a cop-out. But Ed Donatil, when you let Justin Fields throw for over 200 yards, you have an issue. Justin Fields has averaged 95 yards a game. Come on, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Everybody keeps saying it's the adjustment from the 4-3 to the 3-4. Whatever. You're doing this. You're doing that. We have too many good players on defense to be this bad. Our defense sucks.
Yeah. Just a couple things that make me scratch my head here. And number one is when you just see Justin Fields throw the football and he's either skipping the ball 10 yards short to his receivers or overthrowing them, hey, bring pressure. I don't care. Is it crazy? Bring 9, bring 8, whatever. You don't need to have guys covering when the quarterback can't hit the receivers anyway. It doesn't matter. Bring the pressure, bring the heat. Maybe something good happens. And then you have a mobile quarterback. Basic scheme, like basic football 101. If you have a quarterback who can run, protect the outsides, whether it's your edge rushers, your linemen, make sure they have contained. Don't let this guy get outside. Every time Justin Fields had a chance to scramble, he would go to the outside. It was wide open. There was nobody there. So those are two things that make me just completely drop my pants and scratch my head. I just don't get it. I don't get how that can happen. Yeah, he did. I'll give him credit. He called some great run blitzes today where, I mean, Zadarius Smith hit home a couple other times too. I don't know if it was Cam Bynum or Harrison Smith, whatever. They were there. So I love seeing that, but let's see it on a pass. Let's see it flush through the quarterback, make something happen, because all the talent on this defense, I feel like it's completely being pissed away because of Ed Donatell's just vanilla scheme that he's been running.
Well, and here's the thing is, and we did mention this on our live, is we don't know if this is on Ed Donatell. I mean, Ed Donatell's been in the league for a very long time. He's a very smart, defensive-minded guru. There's no doubt about it. He's had very, 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 very good defenses in this league. Is this an Ed Donatell issue, or is this players not being able to pick up what he's trying to do? So it's not that fair right now just to throw Ed Donatell under the bus. He is the coach, so we will do it. But they need to pull their shit together. We're 5 games in. They need to start pulling it together real quick, or Ed Donatell will be one and done in Minnesota.
Well, and there's a couple of things that make you think that it is scheme related, and it's just the fact that like the outside contain on the running quarterback, that to me was a head scratcher. I mean, it's just basic concepts and adjustments and changing things that I just don't get. How do you let this Bear team you're up 21-3? How do you let them, this inept offense who can't move the ball, who can't score points, score 19 unanswered?
Yeah, but that could also be on the players. So
maybe, but to me, I think this is more scheme related. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's shocking. Why isn't there somebody spying Justin Fields? I mean, there's simple things here that I don't see being applied.
They could have been spying him. They could have been spying him very badly.
I spotted you once, and you're taking a 2 in the stalls in the old high school.
Yeah, and that was a horrifying moment. Speaking of horrifying, let's go to our final loser, and this one pains us a little bit because we love him.
This guy.
And I think this guy will absolutely be a head coach in the NFL someday, and I think it's going to be pretty damn soon. And that is our rookie special teams coach, Matt Daniels. Everybody loves this guy, but our special teams was a complete wreck today. Do we put Ryan Wright on Matt Daniels, or Ryan Wright's punt on Matt Daniels? No, we shouldn't, because he wasn't punting it. But damn it, Matt Daniels coaches this team, but our special teams as a whole was dog shit today.
Yeah, and which is weird because it's been a strength through the first 4 games.
Oh, yeah, it has.
Everybody talks about 3 aspects of a team. It's defense, offense, special teams. And the special teams has been the strong point of the Vikings team through the first 4. And today it failed. And I'm not going to – I love Matt Daniels. I love the way he talks about his players' calves and their thighs and their buttocks and his passion, and talking about how he asks players, do you love to win or do you love to lose at the combine? I mean, this guy is just – he's emotional. I do think I agree with you. I think he's going to be head coach. I think it's going to happen fairly soon. But today it failed. The special teams was bad. He missed 2 field goals. Well, one's a block, which is horrible. You shank a punt. I mean, it's just you got Kenny Ngwangu, who just hasn't been able to get going this year. That's kind of the one question mark when it comes to Matt Daniels this year. A guy who had 2 return touchdowns last year. I think it was 2, maybe not, but the guy who was at least
glorious.
Yeah, I thought he had 2. All right, so I mean, why is this not happening? But again, this team, this unit, this part of the Vikings has been very strong. But today it failed. It was a total failure, top to bottom. And Matt Daniels is the coach, so he's going to get blamed. And we love him. We love him. I still love him. I still support this unit. I think it's the strength of this team. But today it failed, and we're going to call you out when you suck. We're calling you out today, Matt Daniels. This did not work.
Matt Daniels, this will probably be the only time he's on this list, so I don't feel that bad about it. But yes, Lupagus, you said it all. And those are our 5 losers. Lupagus is going to go find himself a real nice tall glass of water.
No, I'm not. I may have one more.
Let us know in the comments who was a loser in your book, or did we just completely missed the mark. Let us know. Hit that sub button. Let's get to 8,000 subs, baby. Vikings 4-1. Loser we didn't mention today also was the Packers because they lost to the Giants. Suck it. Vikings are top of the North, baby.
Sitting alone.
Bushwhacker. I'm a bushwhacker.
My guy, you're definitely Luke. All right, remember this. If you spent one night in each hotel room in Disney World, it would take you 68 years to sleep.
Good Lord.
Long time.